Hi, good afternoon. This is Ankur Agarwal, and I am representing EduShastra as a mentor and a guide for training the student for their higher preparation and higher studies. For example, who were targeting for the CAT, GMAT, and GRE and various other entrance examinations. And I am having approximately a 17 plus years of experience for training and mentoring the students for a quantitative part, logical reasoning, as well as for the soft skills. Thank you. Vipul sir, please.
Vipul Parashar. I'm one of the director here and spent 15 to 16 years now in teaching corporate life and all. So most of my right now, my time mostly is spent in the management side right now. So, Mr. Krishna.
My name is Krishan, and I've been teaching students for CAT and GMAT for the last 3 years, and I've been taking the mock interviews as well for them.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Nimla, can you introduce yourself to us?
Sir, I am, as you sir know, I am Nirmal Bose and I am born and brought up in Kolkata. I studied from South Point High School. Thereafter, I graduated in printing engineering from Jadavpur University. After that, I worked for around 6 months at Resvista Financial Services. So essentially, it's into capital markets and stock markets. So I was in the asset management vertical of that firm. Thereafter, I joined IPAC Consultancy, which is a political consultancy organization, and I have been working there ever since. As regards to my interests, I am a very passionate follower of the game of chess, and I have represented my state and my nation at several national and international tournaments. Namely, lastly, it was the National Under 25 Chess Championship, and before that, the Asian Chess Championship and World Youth Olympiad. So, that would be a very brief introduction.
Nimla, can you introduce yourself for your internships and project during your school days as well as your college days?
Yes, sir. As regards to my internship during my college days, I had interned at ITC Munger. So essentially, it was an internship on rotogravure. So gravure is a special type of printing process wherein the flakes for the cigarette packets are made. So that was a part of our project, and our project essentially pertained to the area where we had to redress the downtime of the entire rotogravure section of the plant. So essentially, we found out several issues for which the downtime was increasing, and we pointed those out. And the root cause relating to those downtimes were at the main emphasis of our project, as was highlighted, and we also received an honorary mention for the project from ITC. As regards to school, uh, uh, I mean, nothing very specific to highlight. The internship and regarding my final year project at my college, it basically was based on the various properties of synthetic paper and super calendared paper that we use in printing, regarding its various physical properties like porosity, super calendaring paper smoothness, moisture content, and how it varies with the various, if we change the various other parameters of the paper. So this was our final year project
Okay.
in my college.
Okay. Nebula, as you have done your engineering in a printing engineering, right?
Yes, sir.
So, how can you make a shift from the normal paper, that is a paper made by the wood, to the synthetic paper? What are your suggestions that how can we shift from normal using of paper to, say, this recycled or synthetic paper?
So, sir, recycled paper is already in use. I mean, a large variety of the eco-friendly paper which is prevalent nowadays. ITC is one of its proprietors, and along with various other industry players. So, essentially, what we do for recycled papers is when we collect all the waste materials or the materials from which act as a raw for the recycled materials, we mesh it into pulp uh, in a uh, in a pulp smasher, and similar process after that. We which includes the process of mixing sizing chemicals and several other chemicals. We mesh it up, and thereafter it's put into the boiler, and after that the cotton fibers, which are essentially the ingredients for paper, are then beat into pulp. They are the mesh is prepared with several other chemicals and uh, water. Then after it's drained, and then we have and then there the various smoothness which various kinds of paper contain. Thereafter, it's given the final touch.
See, basically, my question was, how can you suggest, what are the ways you can suggest to shift the industry or say the normal uses of the paper to the recycled or synthetic paper? Basically, you are discussing the process of preparation of the paper, right? I
Okay.
do not want this. I want what are the ways, what are the methods you can suggest so that we have and we create an interest of using a recycled paper. Normally, in an organization, as you are saying, you have a work experience of 6 months. So you can see that we want a fresh paper always, right? We
Hmm.
normally, the organization do not want to use the recycled paper. So what are the methods and ways you can suggest so that the organizations now start using the recycled paper?
Hmm. So, sir, I would like to beg to differ on one point. Sir, I mean, it's very difficult with the naked eye to, uh, let's say, point out that if a paper the ingredients of the paper is made out of a recycled paper or fresh from
Okay.
the wood which is cut and chipped, and then it's made into paper. So it's very difficult. So my view is it's already under process. So as much as recycled paper is possible, that also brings down the manufacturing cost of the paper. So industries, it's naturally inclined to their incentives to make recycled paper as well, not only from the environmental point of view, but also it brings down the cost, because if we have to make it if we have to make fresh paper, we have
Mhm.
to first of all get environment clearance, then we have to cut the trees, chip the logs, then we have to extract the cellulose out of those chips, and then we can use it, and then the cotton fibers finally emerge out of that. So this process is also already saved if we use ready-made recycled paper. One disadvantage of recycled paper is it might there are certain chemicals which might cost extra, because we have to remove the extra color that the an old paper might have, the yellowish tinge that an old paper might have. So there we have to use certain chemicals to get rid of that paper.
Okay.
So this
Right. Thank you. Vipul sir, please.
Yes, Mr. Bose.
yes,
So you're from West Bengal, am I correct?
yes, yes,
Okay. So, and you have an interest in politics. I can
yes.
see in your resume you've written. Yes. So, how is the things happening? How the things you can, what's your version of the things happening there?
So I am already working for the political consultancy firm at IPAC.
Okay.
So they are helping the incumbent government of TMC Mamta Banerjee to design her campaign and her outlook under the guidance of Prashant Kishore. So he is
Okay.
our chief mentor. So uh, I mean, there are various challenges we are facing as
Hmm.
we are going through various strategies, counter strategies, so various decisions, and overall, it has been I won't say very smooth, but enjoyable ride so far.
Okay. So, let's say if you can recount any one strategy, if you can talk about.
So our first campaign, that was DDK Bolo. So if I were to translate it into English, so you have to raise your concerns to Mamta Banerjee herself. So this would be the name of the campaign. So essentially, there were 3 points which we tried to address through this campaign. Number one was we tried to gauge the base and the trust that normal people had on Mamta Banerjee through if we found out that several questions were asked in the platform of DDK Bolo. So we would naturally conclude that people still have a lot of trust and faith. That's why they're raising their genuine demands to the chief minister herself. Number two would be that what are the issues that people are addressing? What are We can classify those issues and sort it on priority basis. Number three, I think most importantly, there would be certain names of local leaders which would emerge out as being not so helpful or having a alleged corruption charges against them, so that we can have a database of those leaders as well and speak and strategize and speak with them personally as to where things are going on. So three motives. So this was one strategy that we developed. So the beginning campaign at West Bengal. So
Okay. So, let's say if you're talking about any government, any chief minister who has been there for past 10 years, two terms.
mhm.
Now, what is the main challenge you think any incumbent, any government which is for a long time faces?
So I think when I mean it's almost very similar to the concept in marketing. So when a new product launches, there is a huge let's say surge and huge appreciation and huge let's say enthusiasm about how she is going to perform, how and before that, if we go to the background, left had been in West Bengal for 34 years. So there was a very strong anti-incumbency against the policies of the left because they have an ideology. So all their policies were naturally inclined towards those ideologies. So certain priorities were left out, which I think Mrs. Banerjee rightly captured the stage and helped her in gaining the first traction. But I mean, TMC is not a party which is aloof from ideology. It basically, if we trace the origins of TMC, it can be traced to Congress. Since Mamata Banerjee had certain separation with the Congress in terms of certain policies and certain issues that led her distancing from the Delhi leadership of the Congress, she departed from that and created a new party of her own. However, her ideology still, I mean, as a by and large, inclines towards Congress. So essentially, I mean, apart from the regular demands of employment, water, electricity, basic necessities. I think in terms of her schemes, she has the penetration of her schemes has reached a majority of the villages and to the grassroots. But certain leaders whom Mamata Banerjee had trusted, especially to the bottom level, like the panchayat level or the booth level, they have been alleged with corruption charges, which has dented her image to a significant extent. And I think the most important issue here would be resurrecting that image of the very tainted leaders right at the bottom level, because at the mid level or at the high level, I mean, I won't say there is no corruption or no political party can be said to be clean and devoid of charges, but I think they're significantly better off than the grassroots level alleged corruption charges by the different parties and also the community. So that has tainted her image. Apart from that, I think there is nothing significant against or against TMC.
Okay. See, just like in the management, every team, it is a top to bottom approach. The culture usually, the culture actually always flows from the top.
Mhm.
If
Yes.
your head or the team leader speaks a language,
Yes.
the same language is spoken by the team, and then the team speaks the same language to the customer.
Yes,
That's the basic idea in management.
Yes, sir.
Uh, just a question as a teacher I have, and even as a team lead in Shastra, if a team leader doesn't want a thing to happen, can it happen? A
So,
strong leader, if he wants no corruption anywhere, can corruption happen? Can
no,
it
sir.
happen?
No, sir. In your context, in corporate, it can never happen. It's very difficult. I would imagine it's very difficult to happen because in corporates you have very few amount of people and they are inclined towards the culture of the organization. They have certain ethics. They are groomed. There is an internal HR to take care of the policies. So there are so many things which prevent this from happening. Unlike, let's say, for a political party, it's very difficult because we live in a democracy, and for true democracy to flourish, it is important for that space of dissent to be given, and sometimes that dissent also backfires. That if Mamata Banerjee has trusted somebody to look after a region, it's very difficult for her to directly control the policies, day-to-day policies, because we are talking about districts, we are talking about lakhs of people. So I mean, a panchayat leader trying to, let's say, alleged of bribery or corruption, when, of course, when the issues come to her, I mean, she does act. I think evidence is there, she does act. But it's very difficult to stop it from, it's very difficult to stop it altogether from happening. Of course, there are corrective measures that can be taken, but I mean, altogether rooting out is very difficult.
Okay. So, Mr. Bose, what are your long and short-term goals, like say 5 years down the line or 25 years down the line? What are the main goals you have in your life?
So the immediate goal is to learn and equip myself with the various knowledges of the HR background that I am applying for at IIT KGP. So the various skills I would be looking for there. That would be a short-term goal, and long-term, I would see myself implementing those skills and making a difference in the lives of the corporate of the employees of the corporate where I would be working. So that would be my long-term goal, and making a significant change there.
Okay, Mr. Krishan.
Okay, Nimalia, you have done your engineering in printing. So can you tell me something about 3D printers?
So essentially, 3D printing is not exactly in the domain of printing, although the name is, I think, is a kind of a misnomer, because 3D printing is more associated with mechanical engineering. So for example, the additive techniques of 3D printing, which are there, mostly it's still in research stage, but it has gained a lot of traction, especially with its successful implementation in the domain of uh, medicine and biology, because artificial liver, artificial kidneys have been successfully transplanted into patients, and especially in US. So there it has gained a lot of traction, but I don't think what we mean exactly by printing technology has got, let's say, direct reference to 3D printing.
Okay. I think you are working in the MATLAB, right? You have an experience in MATLAB also,
Yes, in image processing domain.
image processing domain.
Yes.
What is the full form of MATLAB?
Sorry, I cannot return.
Okay. What is, like, if I talk about the main ideology or the main function of MATLAB? So what is it?
So essentially, it's about as an I mean, it's a kind of platform to solve equations, those things which are not possible in other kind of languages like C or C++ or Python, like solving equations, having ready-made access to those, let's say, related mostly to mathematics, I would say. It's helpful. And also image processing as a tool, it helps to let's say cut down images into pixels, and thereby we can manipulate it, and we can change the image according to our needs. So that coding is very helpful in MATLAB. So my understanding of MATLAB is limited to the image processing domain. Beyond that,
Okay. Okay. Ankush sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hi, Nirmala. Hi. Good evening. Okay. So, Nirmala, as you are a printing engineer, right? So,
yes.
you must be like having a good concern over the cutting of the trees and eradication of the forest and everything, right? So, you must be supporting the, say, recycle use of paper, and say, since the lockdown since last 1 year, we are using online platforms, so discussion, meetings, everything is going on,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And now you are working with the one organization which is into the political campaign for Miss Mamata Banerjee,
Yes.
right? So when we see the campaign for any political party or in any state, we see that a lot amount of paper is used for postering, for pamphlet, for everything, right?
Yes.
So, how do you see if we move this all campaign without paper and if we move this campaign to the electronic media, how effective this campaign will be?
I think that there is a parallel campaign going on in the electronic media as well, especially the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think
Mhm,
there is a dedicated. We have also have a dedicated team at IPAC
mhm.
designing and launching the campaign through these various electronic mediums. So
No,
I think
see,
that's a
my question is, I know that a parallel campaign is there and Facebook, electronic media, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these are used, right?
Hmm, hmm,
So first, my question is, which is more effective? Is the
hmm,
paper campaign or the electronic media campaign,
hmm,
right? And second, if I stop using these paper and wastage, I would say the
hmm,
paper in this
hmm,
political campaign and everything.
hmm.
So can I run my entire campaign electronically?
So I think it would depend more on the opponent you are trying to face. For
Mhm.
example, if you are trying to face somebody, let's say a regional political party, I think the idea of going altogether electronic without, let's say, the banners and posters made of paper might be an idea. But when I mean, if we are talking about resources in terms of all sorts of political measures. So
Mhm.
there, I think emphasizing only one domain, that's electronic domain, I think is not very prudent. I think we have to match them on every level that's possible. So if your opponent is strong in some level, you have to counter it.
Okay. Okay. So you mean to say that we can't stop this wastage of papers in during the political campaign and political rallies and all together?
I think it's very difficult till the point that there is an consensus together among society that we have to stop it, or there is some kind of law that's enforced that it's not possible. Till such point, I think it's very difficult to convince people that how. I mean, on a broader basis, everyone is aware. I mean, the campaigns, environment campaign, everybody has an idea, but I mean, it's very difficult to convince, let's say, stakeholders that, I mean, what kind of damage that we are making. Of course, they are aware of the repercussions, but they feel that this wastage is nothing compared to the difference in lives they will be making for the next 5 years. That's the logic.
Okay.
That's,
Okay. Right. So, Nibla, you are a printing engineer,
Hmm,
right?
hmm,
And presently working with an organization which is into the political, social, and all these things,
yes,
right? And now you want to go and pursue a management qualification,
yes,
right? So,
yes.
how do you relate and connect these three different points?
Hmm.
First, the technical qualification, then your work X, your profile is having a say some political and social well-being, and then you're going for a management qualification, right? So, how these three different points, how do you connect these points?
So as you will appreciate, the technical knowledge in today's world is absolutely, let's say, it's absolutely needed. It's the need of the hour, especially not only the technical knowledge, but also it gives you the analytical skills and the
Mhm.
quantitative ability to interpret data, which is kind of the goal these days. So
Okay.
that is essential. And speaking of my, let's say, stint at IPAC, I think it gives you a wonderful opportunity to mix with people, realize
Mhm.
their problems, as well as devise strategies and analyze the data which is coming and give constructive inputs and to your client, as well as help her to design the campaign, uh, which is also a part of strategizing. And
Mhm.
as regards to my MBA, I think all these skills which I have equipped myself adds a lot when, especially from the point of view of a future manager or future HR professional, because it also, because my stay at IPAC also has taught me what different what gratification one can sense when one can touch lives, especially rural people who are not so privileged as the guys who are living in the urban areas. So it
Mhm.
also uh, brings a sense of empathy, compassion, and I think which are very essential to the HR field. So I think this will be in short how we can relate this.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Vipul, sir, please.
Mr. Bose, why you should be selected? Let's say if a business school is choosing out of 100 people, one person is getting selected. Why you?
So essentially, what I believe is I have a curiosity for knowledge, uh, and the right skill set which one should be looking for to a pre B school level candidate, uh, be it my technical background, be it my WalkX at IPAC and my previous organization on finance, co-finance. So this skill set would help me in grasping all the and grasp me and prepare me for the rigors of 2 years of B school. So I think I have all the qualifications for for being a future leader, as well as equip myself with the 2 years of B school.
We go to a business school because we are the best, or we go to a business school because we lack something.
So I think we lack something, because if were already the best, I think there is uh, uh, no point where knowledge finishes. So knowledge, there is always a need to re-educate and align ourselves to the happenings of the world, how the world is changing very fast. So we need to realign ourselves, and I think one part of alignment would be in the form of a B school, especially in terms of managerial skill set. It's very
Can you
important
name the skill set?
in B school. So I think it would be interpersonal skills, personal connect, networking. Uh,
Network is not a skill.
so I meant networking with peer groups. Uh,
That's not a skill.
okay, sir. So then we also talk also the knowledge that HR domain would provide me. HR would equip me to align with the businesses, the future corporates where I would be a part of. So how the business would run, how an HR should help uh, in aligning with the business of the company. So these skill sets, uh, I would be able to learn from the business.
Okay. So, Mr. Bose, you have played chess, I think. You have even
Yes.
won tournaments.
Yes.
Okay. So let's say if I want to relate chess with management, how can I?
I think a lot of chess relates to not only management but the world around us in general. So, for example, the skills I would find most relevant would be strategy. Uh, a part of it would be most importantly foresight. I think a chess players have a tendency of having foresight uh, better than most other people would. Part of it would be psychology, because I think it's very underestimated, but chess players are very good at understanding their opponents. So since we had the opportunity of playing our opponents and then sitting with them for, let's say, 3-4 hours at the board, we can let's say guess how he feels about the position through their body language, through their patterns of the breathing at times. So I think that's very important. So I think these three, apart from the normal skills, which are also very important.
Yeah, Mr. Krish.
Nivalya, what is the difference between if I talk about the Indian democracy and if I talk about the US democracy? That what is the difference between the two?
So I think in terms of economic parameters, they are vastly different. Uh, let's let's say Human Development Index, the accessibility to basic amenities, affluence. I think these parameters are going to be vastly different. And
I'm
also,
talking about the like how basically the government functions. Like, what is the difference between how the government functions in India and how the government functions in US?
okay, so it's essentially a presidential form of government, and India is a parliamentary form of government. So, parliamentary form of government traces its roots to the UK form of government. So, we have copied the Westminster system in us, whereas in US, the president. The stark difference would be the president in US enjoys far superior powers than if we compare it to our prime minister, where he is responsible to the Lok Sabha. So, that would be a very stark difference to begin with. Apart from that, there are several differences in how the house behaves. Also, the judiciary in India would be very different. The powers of judiciary in India is different from the powers of judiciary in uh, US. We follow an integrated system of judiciary where Supreme Court is the apex court, whereas they have federal courts and the district level courts, state level courts. So in that sense, and also US is an union of the states. In India, we the union breaks down the power to the states. So the parliament can redraw the map of any state at their will, whereas in US it's not possible to do so. So this would be certain stark differences to begin with. Apart from that, the constitution also is different in terms of the in terms of even the current issues of sedition or what attributes to freedom of speech. I think these are very differently narrated in the context of US as we find in India. So,
Okay.
So,
yes, sir.
Nirmala, how was this all interaction?
So it was very nice, sir. Very pleasing.
Okay. Nirmala, my suggestion I would say are these, like as you were talking about the left government to rule the West Bengal 34 years now, Miss Mamata Banerjee is there. Right. So you were speaking about all the things in a plain English statements, right?
Mm.
What my suggestion is, just please include some numbers, some figures, right?
Mm.
If the 34 years of left government, so what are their debt? What are the job they created, right? Why they failed? And why Miss Mamata Banerjee came into the picture, and what are the say good thing, how she has bring up the loan amount, the debt filled, right? So all
Mm.
these things should be in numbers, right? Rather than she is appreciated by the rural area, she is appreciated by the say local persons and everything. She is very popular, but why is she popular? Is she has created a jobs. So how much jobs? At what level? Junior, senior, middle level, right? If the economy is going to good in West Bengal, so then what was the initial when she took charge, and now what is the upbringing or downbringing of the economy, right? So all these
Yes.
things, the per capita income, you can include for the say some cities like Calcutta and all the major cities, or even you can include the per capita income change in the state itself,
Okay, sir.
right? So rather than just going with a simple statement, just include some figures,
Okay,
right?
sir.
This will give us a support, and I would say a good support for your present profile, that as you're saying that okay, you're working with a firm which is a politically supported firm and giving us a political campaign and strategizing the political campaign of a party. So
Yes, sir.
as you can see, all the political leaders, when they are talking about the achievement in political rallies, so they
Mm.
are talking about the numbers for the past government, for the past leaders, what they have done, what they are planning to be done in the future, right? So
Yes,
always
sir.
they have some figures and some numbers. So just
Mm.
use this method to make your interaction more effective and more appealing,
Yes.
right? People, sir, please.
Yeah, Mr. Bose, I would rate, it was a good interview, okay? I would rate
Okay, sir.
somewhere around 6 or 7 out of 10.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Bose, I will start with the good things first. What are the things I should congratulate you for? The first thing is that you are a good orator. Okay, you speak very well.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and whatever you have done as a part of the education and even the company you're working, the things you're doing, you're very well versed with it. What you're doing, you are able to, when you are asked a question, you are able to pinpoint answers. You are able to, I would say, put the points very discreetly and distinctively, which shows a very good mind. Okay, a very good sharp mind. It shows when a person talks in a language of, let's say, if you're putting a point, let's say you're making good points or bad points, but if you're putting it in a discrete way or a distinct way, it shows a very good thinking process. Okay, which is clearly seen. You have a good IQ that can be easily be seen. So what are the demerits? What are the negative things I saw?
Yes, sir.
Just like Mr. Ankur even said the same thing. See, subjectively talking or holistically talking is very easy. But when you bring numbers, when you change the whole talk into an analytical talk, then it makes sense actually. And that's what
Yes.
business school or any business school student should talk like. They shouldn't be talking good, bad kind of a thing. The weather is good. They should have a very clear understanding that what is the temperature right now, why we are saying it's good, what is the humidity
Yes.
level. Just I'm just giving example. I don't want you to talk about climate in such a way, but the point I'm raising is if you're making a
Yes, sir.
point,
Yes.
if you're bringing numbers into it, it will make your point much more better. Okay,
Got it.
and the answers you gave of why you and the long and the short term goals of your life and bringing it to its skill level is very good. But when I wanted the skill sets to be named actually. You were
Okay.
very close to your perfect answer when you said, I am looking for a skill set. I'm lacking in some skill set, and I'm looking for that skill set to develop further. That was a very
Yes.
good answer. But when I see, still the answer is incomplete. Reason being, you didn't name or you didn't pinpoint which skill set we are talking about, where exactly the lacking is. See, the
Okay,
idea
sir.
is if you're taking a journey, whatever the journey that might be, you should be very clear where you are heading to
Yes.
and what are the medium you are going to take that journey in. I meant to say, if you're, let's say, traveling from Calcutta to Delhi, first of all you should know where you're going.
Yes.
Second of all, you should be knowing that why you're going there.
Yes.
Okay, and how does that journey fits into the long or the short term goals of your day, or I would say your life or whatever. The point I'm saying is you
Yes.
had a good answers. The only thing which lacked was the numbers. Looked like more a
Yes.
holistic answers rather than the analytical answers. Okay,
Okay, sir.
but then also I would rate it in very good answers, very good interview. Okay, yeah, Mr. Krishna.
Thank you, sir.
Nimali, I think the interview was good for that. Like you are well versed with the technical skills of yours, and you're well versed with all the things which you have done for it. Just keep it up and just try to focus on all these things. Like just try to take the interview forward in all these things because you are well versed in these particular things for that. Right?
Okay, sir.